program is brought to you by Newsworks in cooperation with the City of Eau Claire. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM.
At 7 p.m. we'll start the May meeting of the Waterways and Parks Commission. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the April 24th meeting. Were there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
John, and a second? Second. And other John? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. We have some changes to the new business agenda. With some absences here at the meeting tonight, we will postpone the group photo until the subsequent meeting, unless there are any objections. If not, also the group that was going to present the presentation on the vacation of the Newton Street portion is not here tonight and will be unable to present. So this will also be tabled to a subsequent meeting. Then the first item of business for the meeting tonight will be a recommendation of approval for construction of the restrooms with pavilion at Owen Park on First Avenue. Jeff?
Thank you. For the Waterways and Parks Commission is a site plan for recommendation to approve the plans for a restroom pavilion at the Owen Park. The city has been working with Lean and Peterson to design this restroom and pavilion on land owned by the city of Eau Claire. Looking at the site plan, this is the location of where the new restroom and pavilion will go. Earlier this, I'd say this decade, XL Energy had to do some restoration on that site because of some contaminated soils that were there. While doing that, part of our Parks Master Plan was to replace the existing restrooms that are located just to the south of, is that south of, I think that, yeah, just to the south of the band shell area. Those restrooms are the oldest that we have in our park system. And the problem we have with that area is which is occurring right now is that these are closed down because of the river flooding. So they very frequently get flooded. This area, when it was rehabbed, was brought out of the floodplain. So you'll notice that there's quite a knob out in this area. It's situated between the area of the band shell and also the playground area. So that was something that we were looking for. And it's something that's spelled out in our Parks and Open Space Plan. Additionally, we stubbed out the utilities in preparation for someday getting to putting in this restroom and pavilion. The restrooms will consist of a family restroom that is ADA compliant, has a sink, a wall-mounted changing table. The women's restroom will have 4 stalls. One of those will be ADA compliant, and then 3 sinks. The men's restroom will have 1 ADA compliant stall and wall-mounted urinal and 2 sinks. This existing restroom is not ADA compliant, so certainly with the number of people that we get at Owen Park for some of the special events and events we have in the park, we can accommodate people that have those needs. The pavilion, if you want to go back to the pavilion area, the pavilion area will be a 24 by 24 space. And this is kind of the side views, the west elevate or side view east. But these will be roll-up doors that will be open during the summertime. We don't intend to have them closed because we want people to use the pavilion. It's also going to be a rentable space, so if someone wants to have a party or a birthday party or something, they can come and rent that. So these will be open. In the wintertime, the plan will be to close those down and we can use it for storage area for some of our equipment. We'll have countertops and receptacles in there. There'll also be a bottle filler and drinking fountain in the area. And then with the 6 roll-up doors. This is consistent with our Parks and Open Space Plan. Tonight we do have Bill Betcher and Sally Schreck from Lean and Peterson here to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the plan. So. Do you want to go back?
I'll go to the floor plan, so go back like 5 pages. Right there.
You want that enlarged a little bit?
Oh, I'm Sally Schoenthaler. I'm with Lean Peterson Architects. So Jeff actually covered a lot of what is entailed in the scope of the project. I guess one thing to mention is it will have a 5-foot overhang eave for protection from rain, if you get caught out in the rain. And additionally, the 5-foot sidewalk underneath as well to under that protected area. I don't know, we covered.
Well, the fixture count on that, when we sized it, we didn't size it for the largest group that would be using the facility because that would be cost prohibitive. As you notice, there's more fixtures for the ladies than men. The current building code does require that. I believe we're in A3, so it's 75 per fixture for the men, 40 per fixture for the women. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So basically, we've got capacity here for a group of just right around 150 people, and then the unisex toilet room gives you 15 more. So that's 150 per section, 300. So we can handle a group of about 315 people with the fixtures that we've got here. Now that'll cover a lot of the events. It won't cover every event. Some of the events that happen at the band shall require a larger group, but there's a provision in the building code that for temporary events you can bring in portables. So if there's a big concert at the band shell or another event, they can bring in portable toilets to access this. But this will cover probably 90 to 95% of the events that happen in Owen Park. This building will provide the facilities for that. One other neat thing that the city's been doing, I don't know if you guys have seen, like the conference room in this building, they've got this beautiful table that was made from oak, ash trees, thank you, that the city has been cutting down. That's the plan for here also. In the main hall up there, those counters that we put in there, the tops are going to be reclaimed ash. And most likely, the ceiling that we're going to put inside of that will be from reclaimed ash that the city has. We'll make sure that when we bid it out, that the contractors know that we're using that product provided by the city. Please ask questions. Ask away.
I was wondering, since they're using reclaimed ash and stuff, can we check on a bid for? I've seen that they're checking to bring visitors. There's tables made and they have a blue going through them, so it's like the river, and that would be like so Eau Claire. I mean, here you have the trees and you have the river going through it. I don't know what that is, but it just struck me that that would really be an Eau Claire sort of.
I would defer to Jeff on that because
I don't
he's going to be
know.
purchasing all the finishes and the fixtures that go in there. You know, we're doing the building and the things are permanently attached. But as far as the, what else goes inside of that, that's something.
And is there a changing table in the family toilet?
Yes, there will be a fold-down changing table on the wall in there. The materials that we're using, go ahead and explain what you know better than I do, what the walls are and stuff.
So all of the walls are going to be concrete masonry, so just a block. But the exterior finish will be a EIFS material, so it'll be a continuous insulation, a rigid insulation, and then have a finish over it that's very similar in appearance to stucco. And that'll keep in trend with some of the other parks buildings throughout the city. And then we'll just do a 50-year asphalt shingle on the roof. They hold up very well.
another thing that we're planning on doing with the building here, and talking with Mr. Koala from forestry and the forestry people, is we've got a fairly large plumbing chase in the middle of that. It looks like it's taking up a lot of space, but what that does is it allows, the toilets to be mounted to the wall, so all of your hardware and stuff is on the inside. The other thing we're gonna be doing in there is there's a 6-inch water main stubbed to the site, and currently there's a fire hydrant at the end of it. We're gonna be relocating that hydrant because that's where the building's gonna go, but we're gonna run 6-inch water into the building, and then it's going to be set up that the irrigation systems for the entire park, the existing and any future, will then be controlled out of that plumbing chase in the building. So it gives a place that's secure and in a central location for the irrigation system, both for metering and for monitoring. The other thing that we're doing with the building is it's an unheated building. We have the ventilation for the toilet rooms that's required, so you get any orders and stuff out of there. But in the fall, they'll come in, we've got valves and blowdowns and everything. They will completely dewater the building, shut it off below grade, and then the building will sit cold over the winter. And there's procedures in place for making sure that the toilets don't freeze, the sinks don't freeze, the drains and traps are all taken care of. So that's another thing on the building that'll be done, and in the spring they come back in, there's a procedure for the restart the building. That's fairly common on the city, on your toilet rooms throughout the city, so we're keeping that same trend. So there won't be heat in the building, so in those spring and fall events, it's gonna be chilly in there, but at least it's a good functional facility. That pretty much describes what we're doing on that. If there's any questions from the commission, this is.
I do have a question. On the, I think this is A300, this slide. It says north for project, and true north is
Yep, so
this way.
This area here will face the river, so the river, in actuality is up along this side.
Okay.
So the open pavilion area in the summer will be out facing towards the river.
Okay.
With the toilet rooms then facing First Avenue.
And then the other side doors then face the
So then the.
fan shell and
Those
The
are-
band
those
shell
are
over
north
here
and south.
and the
Okay.
park,
And it
the
faces
playground
east.
stand, yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I know you said it's gonna go near where the hydrant is now, which is kind of on the west side of the knob, so to speak.
Yeah, that's, at least in talking with Mr. Paula and the plumbing people, they said, we gotta go.
So as I mentioned that when we did the restoration of that, and we brought that out of the floodplain, we stubbed the utilities into that area, and the hydrant was put in basically at the dead end of that water service.
Right, so we're probably gonna be just beyond the cross sidewalk, I think, isn't there a hydrant up there? Yeah, there's a hydrant right there.
Yeah, right there.
So we're gonna be right in that general area. What we're gonna do is the hydrant's gonna come back a little bit because we don't want it right next to the building. So that area will be reworked a little bit, but we're gonna stay beyond the trail there that connects the two so that you've got easy access to walk and get through it.
There'll be some high open area, it looks like, between your pavilion and where the lies goes back.
We're going on the river side of that. So we should be, as long as the building is, it's roughly 60 or 70 feet. It's gonna pretty much be sitting on top of that. Then, that'll afford the best views upstream, downstream, and across the river.
Jeff, the old restaurant, will they be removed or what's going to happen to that structure?
No, we plan on keeping it.
Okay.
While it's old, it's still functional when the river's not up, so when we do have larger events, as Mr. Better was saying, that we should have enough room, but that would give some additional access and use.
So when there's events, say at the band show, the old restrooms will be open, but will the new restrooms in the pavilion be open?
Will they be open all the time, the restrooms?
They'll be open
Just like that.
all the time during the summer. Like I said, we're gonna keep the roll-up sides open during the summer because we do want people to use it. They may not reserve it, but it still would be open for a reservable space if someone wanted to have a party, make sure that they have.
Did you say you'll have to take down trees?
No, well, yeah, there's one little tree up in there, it looks like, that was just recently planted. But we're not gonna be touching any of the large trees, we're staying right on that area that Excel filled up, so any of the trees that were there would have been planted within the last 5 years when that work was done. Well, actually, we're probably gonna miss it looking at this view.
Yeah,
We're gonna be right in between.
Right, I don't think you're gonna touch any trees. And if they are, they're ones that we just recently planted, so it's not a large mature tree. We could relocate it.
Yeah.
The existing restroom facility looks like it has storage space attached to it. Are we losing that, or?
With the existing? No,
They're not taking that out.
we're not taking that out.
Retain that
Yep.
building?
Yeah, we'll still use it.
That contains the equipment that runs the wells that pump water from the river to Half Moon Lake, correct? So that has to remain, because there's really no place to move all of that electrical stuff to. Or the cost would be prohibitive if we had to rewire.
Even though it is underwater a little bit?
We have to cut power. There's many times, like right now, where the power is cut there. Just like the trails shut down, we have the underpass, so we have quite a few things that are closed right now. As soon as we get down, it sounds like the action level will be below that on Monday, so at that point, we'll be opening those things, those areas back up.
So Jeff, is Half Moon Lake slowly draining as we speak?
Is Half Moon Lake Dream?
Well, because if you're not pumping, I think we had a meeting, they
Oh.
said if you don't actually pump it, it would usually just drain out.
I would say with the rain we got.
Right. And also the millimeters a day, but, all right. Well, I'm sure back on Monday, it should be
I
fine.
think we're okay.
I am super excited for this bathroom, I have to say. It is so annoying to be at that playground and watch your kids all the way over. Oh my gosh, especially when they're really, like, at that one, I can just be like, go to the bathroom, you know? Like, you can make it, right?
Any other questions for the presenters or Jeff? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on the proposal? If not, is there a motion to approve the plan? Jenny, is there a second?
Second.
Meredith? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the recommendation is approved. Next item of business is the special events list.
As you can see, our special events keep getting larger and larger. I won't go through everything. Thanks. I won't go through everything, but there's several items on here that will be coming up in the first part of June to take notice is that we've got the Shrine Circus back in at Carson Park again this year. There's the Juneteenth celebration at Carson Park in the Pine Pavilion. The Rock the Riverfront, again, that's all these are repeat events, special events that have gone through, so like last year, we had 105, I think we're on schedule to be over 120 special events in the city for this year, so. If you have any questions on any specific item, be happy to discuss.
Those that are listed as pending, when are those approved?
Those are ready to go through, because they're repeat events, they just have to go through the consent agenda and the city council approval. So that's the only thing that they're waiting for. The others have been approved by the city council.
After that would be the director's report.
Yes, So looking at the park division, the McDonough Park roadway and parking lot was paved on Friday, May 10th. Funds for this paving were fundraised by the pickleball group, and I think that is something that certainly the city council hears a lot now, is that we get into a lot of agreements with groups that have fundraised to put amenities in our parks. If we didn't have these groups working with the city and our parks and recreation programs, there's a lot of these areas that we wouldn't be able to put in amenities. And I know Ron is a big part of the pickleball group, and so if you get a chance to get up to McDonough Park, it has really changed the dynamics of what that park was 10 years ago. Had a lot of problems with crime and certain other activities that we didn't want there, and since we've been bringing the pickleball group in and have more activity, we've got some improvements moving forward with active aging into the park, so that's going to be exciting for us to start putting in some of those amenities.
Just a quick comment, we raised $140,000 for the courts and the road and all the improvements that we're putting in that area. So, wow.
Thank you.
Road is like $28,000.
Well, it's a huge improvement. We have some pictures of the park before and now after, and it's certainly, it's changed a lot. A lot of pride there, even because it's a neighborhood park, so there's a lot of pride with all the improvements that are going on there. And a lot of people that are doing the fundraising, they aren't really necessarily from the neighborhood, but they're putting that investment into that area. Think about it. We applied herbicide treatment to Half Moon Lake on Monday, May 13th. This treatment is to control some of the invasive weeds we have out there, the Christmas, and the Elevia. So we're actually trying to, by doing this, we're trying to get more of a diverse plant growth within the lake. Certainly we have seen great improvements in the water quality of the lake, and this is one part of that, bringing in some of those natural species of flora that were typically present in the part of the river, but certainly an Oxbow Lake becomes a different type of ecology than what a river is. So. Staff has been oiling goose eggs to control the number of geese in the park. We are finding actually fewer nests this spring compared to past numbers. So last year, if you recall, we did a roundup of some geese in the Half Moon Lake and down by Riverview. My memory serves me, we collected about 68 geese last year, and we transported them away from Eau Claire. So. They actually get sent up to Rhinelander, and they get used to at a raptor rehabilitation center that were birds of prey such as eagles and hawks and others that utilize that as a food source. John Dunn has completed his deer survey on March 11th, 2019. What we saw was that we actually saw a decrease in the deer population by 13% and deer density decreased by 15% from the previous year. 3 areas saw deer population stay relatively the same. 3 areas saw a decrease, and 1 area saw an increase. So that's actually good news, because this year when he was flying, it was actually a perfect year to fly. We had a lot of snow from February. You guys heard that we broke the record. It seems like the river doesn't want to stop coming up, so luckily we're not breaking any records there. But so it was actually an ideal year to look and count deer. So It seems, I think this was our 7th year doing the deer survey, so it seems to kind of, go up and down. This year it was down, last year was up. So certainly it's, we have had, and we continue to have youth archery deer hunts in our well field on the north side. To date, we've taken 28 deer from that area. There are, through some other private areas that people are able to deer hunt in different areas of the city. So it seems like there's actually some control going on, especially in the well field. The well field was one of those areas that we saw a decline. So the deer that we have been taking out of there have been moderating those populations, at least in that.
Jeff, I was gonna say, if they need help with that helicopter survey next year, I'll be willing to. Did you?
I don't think he would ever give it up.
I'll let them know that you.
Okay.
But if you look at these numbers too, it was plus 53% last year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's good that it went down because kids went up. That would have been a lot of deer.
Right, and we kind of gauge that from the complaint calls we get about hostas being eaten.
They complained.
And lilies,
Right,
and
so
lilies.
I always tell them there's a trick that we use. You just put some soapy water, and you can get some pretty good stuff from the Menards that you can spray those plants, and the deer will stay away from it. Some are resistant to it, so yeah. So it seems like everybody that has plants has a concoction that sometimes helps them. So, Forestry Division, again, I keep talking about this, but we keep working on the emerald ash borer. If you come down, all you came down Forest Street, that whole line of trees along Forest Street are ash trees, and if you get down there, and I think it's right around Oak Street, look to your right, there's a dead elm tree there, or an ash tree. And that's just the start of what the emerald ash borer is going to look like. That's just one tree. Within the next few years, we're anticipating that a large amount of those ash trees are just going to die off. And the problem with ash trees, when they die off, they get very brittle, and they just kind of fall apart, and it makes it very dangerous to take those trees down. So it's not like a tree that you take down, and you can take them down and they'll settle in and fall down on them as you're doing. So we want to take them down now while they're still alive, and then we can replace them with more of a diverse urban forest. That's our goal, is to get a more diverse urban forest. Got about 4,500 ash trees left in the boulevard and in our public areas, so we started with almost 10,000. So we're doing this without having to go out and hire any other company. We're doing it with a forestry. We met Matt here a couple of meetings ago that was talking about Arbor Day and everything, and we're doing that with 5 arborists to take all these trees down. And community services we're pitching in to help grind the stumps, do the restoration of the boulevards, and then also helping in planting new trees in the boulevards for customers.
Yeah, how is education going for homeowners to take down privately owned ash trees? Like, what are we doing for that? I know that there's been some news stories about it. You know what I'm saying?
Are you
So there's
talking education, or do we have a tree replacement program?
Just so people know that they need to be taking down their ash trees and like
Oh,
how
sure.
to recognize them. that
Sure.
sort of thing.
Yeah, our forestry division is working with the public. I mean, we have all the, this is amazing to think, because we have thousands and thousands of trees, I think, in the city of Eau Claire, just in the public area. We've got over 35,000 trees. And we have those all categorized in inventory. So So think about that database, when you take one out, put another one in, we gotta make sure that because someone took the time of going out to every one of those trees and saying, well, that's a linden, that's a red oak, that's a white oak. So when you take one out, you wanna make darn sure that you have the other one that you're taking out, take that out of the inventory, and what we'll put back in.
So my question was about, in people's privately owned land though, there's surely some ash trees that aren't in the boulevard or in the public space.
Right.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah.
And so is the city doing education to help people with that?
So we do help people on the private side, but we help them with information, but we don't go out to help them. There's a lot of tree services that can come in and help them if they have an ash tree that is dying, that it needs to be taken out. There are other programs, the DNR actually has an urban forestry program too, that they work with private property owners for INE information and education.
Yeah, I think it would be good to continue that public education so that people know that they have to do that. I'm sure there's probably still a lot of people who don't even know about that mill dashboard. Don't know that they need to take their trees down in their yard. So.
Well, we've been using social media to get that message out as much as we can. We have, we have our forester that has been doing a lot of that INE information and education with the public. Typically what happens with us is that someone will have a dead tree, and then they call us, and then we'll come out there and explain to them what it has. But we'd like to be able to, and then the ones that are on the boulevard, as I said, we have an inventory, so we've been doing outreach with the public to let them know, we're not taking all those trees down, just so you know. We are chemically treating several of those trees to see if they can be saved. But historically, when you start seeing trees die off, like I think it was 2017, when we were first notified and actually had the DNR examine the trees, and we knew it was emerald ash borer because when you look at it and pull the bark away, you can see where the larvae are. We were able to determine that back in 2017. It was a very fast-moving disease. Doesn't, within 5-6 years, typically it can decimate the entire ash population that we have. So information and education is very, very important. The other, the forestry, we're scheduled to plant 450 trees this spring, and we're actually in the process of doing that right now. So we have our forestry crew out there doing the planting along with community services helping with that activity. The Amazing Eau Claire cleanup had approximately 400 volunteers, and we moved over 3 tons of trash from our parks and trails during that Saturday. So that was a huge success, certainly to get things cleaned up. Seems like over winter things get blown in, and to get that many volunteers is certainly a great testament to the city of Eau Claire and people that want to help out in the park system.
I led a crew up there on the corner where the edible garden is, and I thought we were gonna have 4 volunteers come, and we ended up having 16. So we got a lot of work done in a very short amount of time.
Sure. Yeah, excellent. And then the prime times and special events, that's something I have on there each time. With our prime times for spring and summer out there, it's online. We do basically 90% of our registration online now. And there's been a huge turnaround for what it was 10 years ago, where everything was a walk-in coming into the administrative office. Now we have people basically signing up online.
Any questions or comments from the director's report? I got the director's report, but for the future, do you anticipate next month having on the agenda again, the 4th Street Park renaming process?
Yes, the reason why it isn't on tonight is because we didn't have exactly 60 days. I think we were right at about 54, 55 days, because I didn't want to bring it ahead to Waterways until we had the 60 days, so we'll wait till the 60-day comment period is, and that will be back on the agenda for the June meeting.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Will we see the public comments on the email or something?
It will all be in, the packet.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, we'll conclude the director's report, and I would take a motion to adjourn. Ron, is there a second? Second. John, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
This program was brought to you by a cooperation between Newsworks and the City of Eau Claire. A transcript of this meeting is available for the hearing impaired. It will be available within 7 days of this telecast. Call 715-839-4912 or TDD 715-839-1689. Or write Eau Claire City Clerk, P.O. Box 5148, Eau Claire, Wisconsin 54702-5148. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org.